Hello, welcome back to Full Stack Developer tutorial series. In this video, we will learn more detail about the connecting database libraries. In this video, we will learn more some libraries to know that they are here. But for the important libraries, we just focus on the Hibernate, and in the end of the tutorial, we will work with the JDBC. We will work with the string data. Okay, and yeah, you can see on the screen, we have learned about the JDBC. So the JDBC is a very basic library that help us to connecting to the database and help us to make the statement very for working with the database in very basic way. So because it's very basic, so in some case we must write a lot of code, and if you write a lot of code, we will get more error. Okay, and also it is inconvenient when we work. So we will have some libraries that help us to work with the database in easy way. They are JPA or Java Persistence API. And in this tutorial, we will learn about the Hibernate and the string data. We also have some other library like Eclipse Link or APK over OpenJPA or the MyBatis, and some. I think you get weird when hear those names, right? Because they are not popular. So the popular are Hibernate and string data. All right. So but the Hibernate and also the string data will have the core library JDBC in it. Okay, and you can see the Hibernate and the string data are ORM tool, means object relational mapping. You can see Hibernate. So the Hibernate is a ORM tool, and this tool will have the core library named JDBC to so the Hibernate to work with the database, it need to generate the JDBC statement and send to the JDBC library. Then the JDBC library will execute the JDBC statement from the database, then get the result, and this result will be mapped to the persistent object in the Hibernate. Okay, and by this way, when using Hibernate, we can simplify way to work with the database, right? And the ORM tool help to map the object to the data stored in database. Okay, and so Hibernate, first we will talk about a little bit about the Hibernate. Hibernate is an open source, it's lightweight, right? And Hibernate can generate the database automatic table creation. They also simplify complex zone and provides query statistics and database So this is the Hibernate architecture. And you can see we have some core objects of the Hibernate framework. We have the session factory, right? We have write the session factory in some previous video in the Hello World and the CRUD program. And we have the transaction factory, the connection provider. The session is very important for working with the database and the transaction. And the Java application will work with the Hibernate via the persistent object, right? In the previous video, we have the user. The user class is a persistent object. And go deeper, we have the JDBC and some library like that, like JNDI, JTA. These libraries help us help the Hibernate for working with different type of database. For JDBC is the library for working with SQL. Alright, we just go a little bit about the code. In some previous video, we have we just create a session, right? Session factory. We build a session factory. So the session factory will help us to create a session which can use for connect, for execute some query, some statement to the database and get a result from the session. And the session factory will be created during startup and kept for using. You can see in the code we have the session factory here, and we also keep this instance during the program running, right? And just when the session factory is closed, we will create it again. We will initialize it again if needed. But in the most time, it will keep for using. Yeah, and its database will correspond to a session factory. Okay. So to configure the session factory, we have a configuration file here, and this is the file for configuration the session factory. In the session factory file, we need to assess what is the driver it used, and what is the URL of the database scheme, and the user to access to the database system, and some configuration. All right, that is the session factory, and next we go to the very important one, is the session. So the session used to make a physical connection from Java to the database, and it initialized each time you interact with the database. And you can see in the code, every time we touch to a database, for example, you want to get a list of the user from the table, or you want to modify the table, you must use the session. Okay, so but the session will be created, will be returned from the session factory, and you can see in this code. So after you have the session, you can use it for create a query and get the data from that query. Okay, so that's very important. All right, we talk about the proposal. Right? A proposal means plain old Java object. For example, we have the class user here. So a class is a proposal when it has no argument constructor, and have an ID property as a primary key in database table, and it also declare getter and setter methods, and it's non-final class. Okay, you can see non-final class. This is a final class, so this is not a puzzle. Okay, and yeah, I think that's all for this video. And if you have any question, please comment below. I will answer you soon. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.